Hey, greetings programs, it's BC, it's Alloy 7, and today we're going to review Brian Altano's Misanthrope record, which is really a joy for me to bring to you guys today. I know I'm shifting gears a bit. I had originally planned to do a video review for my second favorite hip-hop album of all time. I won't tell you what that is because I don't want to spoil it. That's going to be an awesome review as well. But I came across Brian's album, was like, yo, Brian Altano, the freaking IGN star dude, is doing music. Like, who knew that was going on? And apparently, like, I'm the only cat that didn't know. I was telling my boys, like, yo, did you know Brian Altano was making music? Like, yeah, he's been making music forever. I knew that. Where have you been? I'm like, I got kids, yo. I've been in the house. I don't come out much. But anyway, it's a joy for me to be doing this review because I get to mesh together a love for video games and a love for music, something that definitely comes across in Brian's work. Something that I was very pleased to hear sonically throughout the album. Also a love for sci-fi, a love for hip-hop. All these things that I love are just kind of crammed together in this mashup album that really came out much better than I had anticipated. And I wasn't assuming, I didn't go into it thinking the dude's album was gonna be whack. But at the same time, I went into it not really knowing what to expect because my only frame of reference for Brian is him on IGN being a video games nerd. Come to find out that he is actually a musician, a producer. He's put out albums before. This is his second official album release, and it's a pleasure to go into it not really knowing what to expect and then being blown away as I was here. So to get into the more formal parts of the review, I know I like to keep, there's two things I say about these music reviews. We keep the music off the beaten path, and we keep it a little bit more conversational, but there are some kind of technical and specific notes that I want to give you here for your music nerds and just for your, listening pleasure folks out there as to why you should give this album a shot. So to jump into the more formal part of the review, as I was saying, Brian Altano decided to critique all the whack music in the world by dropping his own album titled Misanthrope. It's an instrumental meshing together of hip-hop, blues, and old sci-fi movies. And let's hope the world of music is listening to what Brian had to say. If I had to sum up Misanthrope with one word, I'd choose the word Novocaine. Your first listen is pleasant and somewhat innocuous, but your subsequent listens will infect your subconscious with Altano's multi-layered gumbo of pulsating beats, dark sci-fi inspired melodies, and happy percussion accents. You'll be 4 listens in when you finally realize that you've successfully, if unintentionally, tuned out the world around you, just kind of like Novocaine does to your nerve endings. And after my final listen of the album before I did this review, I found an interview with Altano on IGN, his home website where he does a lot of the work that I'm familiar with. It was done by Naomi Kyle. You may be familiar with her as the newscaster on IGN when it comes to the gaming side of the house. And I was pleased to know that one of Altano's major motivations in making the album was to help people tune out the world or the busy world around them. Much like the interview pointed out, I've found that I enjoy listening to the album when I'm working on graphics or doing video edits for our website. Mission accomplished, Agent Bizzle. And it's interesting, that part of the interview went on to say, Naomi asked him exactly what I was thinking when I heard the title of the album. Like, Misanthrope has very negative connotations surrounding the word, and that the definition is someone who mistrusts or distrusts or has a genuine disdain for humankind. And I'm like, that's a rough thing to call your album, dude. Like, is this cat angry? And in a way, yes, he is, because this album is a critique of the music world around us. But he said that he was kind of trying to turn the definition on its head, and I think he really succeeded in that. It's not so much this malicious type of behavior where I just hate humankind. It's more a learning to focus inwardly, coming into yourself and tuning out the busy internet, social media driven world around you, getting away from that so that you can focus on you and focus on whatever your creative endeavor may be. And I really appreciated that was his motivation, because that's exactly what happened to me when I listened to it. Like, I found myself listening to it over and over and over again because I was just really drawn to it, because it kind of helped me to zone out from all the crap that was going on around me. I think the album does a really good job of that. What I think I dug most about Misanthrope is that it channeled so much music from different eras and areas of my life. So you listen to like the European synthesizers that are really popular in today's music. Probably started somewhere around 2004 with the Foreign Exchange was where I first got introduced to that in hip hop. But when I first got introduced to that tone, that sound, I was a little dude in the 80s living in Germany as a kid. And, you know, like the TV shows that come on there would have that sound that you'll hear in a lot of modern day music. So it's very nostalgic for me to hear that. And the album also channels the spirit of Tron, which is an automatic win for me. I know that's a personal thing that none of you may understand or care about, but somehow I thought about Tron a lot when I was listening to this album, and that being one of my favorite movies of all time. That's a definite mark in the W column for me. But it's really tough to articulate one thing that makes this record so enjoyable. Altano's clearly skilled at crafting emotionally gripping melodies and letting them find a way to harmonize with the eclectic yet abrasive beats. So many of the sonic layers, for you music nerds out there, the layering of the music, so many of those individual sonic layers should not mesh well together. And I think it's a testament to his ability to perform as a producer that all of these layers come together very nicely. And there's this ebb and this flow to when and how specific sounds enter and exit the stage that truly blew me away. I will say that Misanthrope is not a record that you can fully appreciate with one listen. I'm somewhere around listen number 6 or 7, as I was saying earlier, and I'm still finding subtle nuances that I could have sworn were not there in previous listens. Misanthrope is most certainly worth your time though, friends. I'd also say it's worth your money, but Brian's giving it away for free on his website. And even though I streamed it on YouTube, which is one of the options he gives you to listen to it, I think I am going to go back and buy it just because I believe in supporting artists who make stuff that's not whack. And that's definitely one of the major motivations he had in making this album, was to kind of combat the whackness out there, kind of a critiquing by creating versus just whining about what's going on in the world of music. And I'm telling you, I've been listening to a lot of music lately just from in my YouTube and Google Plus feeds. There's a lot of whack music out there. And Brian is definitely not in the whack column. I think this album is very much dope. Very much think it's worth your time. And I say go check it out, my friends. You will not regret it. And that's going to do it for me. I hope you guys found this informative. I really hope you guys go give this album a listen. Again, it's got an electronica, instrumental, hip-hop, kind of bluesy feel to it. But even if you're not into that genre of music, like if you like folk country or something, I think there's still something here for you to appreciate. And that's not a hit against you folk country music fans. I also like that kind of music, depending on who creates it, whether it's Iron and Wine or Willie Nelson. I love both. Anyway, friends, it's been my pleasure to bring this to you. Hope you found it informative, as I have said previously. Until next time, until all are one, allow me to bid you a fond adieu and thank you for watching and commenting. Especially if you've listened to the album, I'd like to hear your thoughts on it. And if this is your first time here, go ahead and subscribe. We do music reviews, or try to do music reviews, every Friday. I didn't get to do one last Friday because I was sick. You may still hear a little bit of scratchiness in my throat as I'm trying to come back, work my way back up to the heavyweight fight. Anyway, friends, until next time, until all are one, it's BC the Brain Supreme signing off. Peace and Godspeed.